Hi. Hey. Good evening. Good evening. It is 7 o'clock on the dot. Yo, this sister's doing better. Good evening, you guys. I am going to give a minute so everybody can get on, because I know y'all not used to me being on time. So I'm going to give a minute. Hello. Hope you all had a wonderful week. All right. So, Carolyn, hi. How are you? First one on this evening. All right, y'all. So, y'all know I like to go ahead. I like to get started when I get on, because all the videos, every camper conversation will be posted at the top of the page. It will be pinned and at the top of the page after each time. So whether you're here right when I get started, or you come in a little bit later, or you miss it altogether, you'll have time to come back to it and you can watch and still comment later on. So, I got to turn the background down because I don't want IG or Facebook to stop me because of music, thinking I'm using somebody else's music. We don't want to mess up the video. All right. So if you see me moving from here to there, it's because I have two cameras going, two phones. One is on IG and one is on Facebook. Then I have my laptop here. I know I keep saying I'm going to get this thing together in one network, in one place. I'm still working on that. I've been told several times that I just need to take this to YouTube. Have not done that yet, but I'm working on it. I'll get to it, y'all. I promise I will. All right. So good evening. I'm going to get started. Welcome to Real Life Relationship Growth. And this Friday segment, every Friday I do this segment called Camper Conversations. So, let me give y'all a little bit of feedback, a little thing on Camper Conversations. Camper Conversations started last year sometime. I bought a fifth wheel camper because Black people camp too. I bought a fifth wheel camper and found a great deal on it. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. I was just thinking one night, hey, Tanil, and I was like, you know what? I should do little segments in the camper and call it Camper Conversation. So that's where the name Camper Conversation came from. For any of you that are new and don't know, that's where it came from. So I would sit in my camper and just have discussions on different topics, different things we talk about. So let me tell y'all how this started real quick. First of all, I'd like to say I am not a relationship expert. I do not proclaim to be. I do not claim to be. I do not profess to be. I am not a relationship expert. I'm a Black woman in this world, living this life and doing the damn thing because I am enjoying myself. That's who I am. I am you. So, each week we take a topic that's from the page, that's on the page. Either you all post or I post, or something that may be my brainchild and it may not be, it may be someone else's, because you all do send things in. Hey, Leia, you all send things in for me to post on the page, whether it's funny, whether it's serious, whether it's something that you're going through. Because I always say there's nothing new under the sun. What I'm going through, what you're going through, or may have gone through, someone else is dealing with that same thing in their life at some point. So we're here not to bash one another, not to bash males, not to bash females, but to love on one another and give some real life advice possibly, or real life experiences, because you may not deal with something in the same way that I do, and your situation may not call for the same type thing, but you may find something within something I said or someone else said in the group that can help you. That is why we are here. Point blank, period. We are here to help one another, to live this life and go through these things that life brings in relationships. So this page is for, let me tell you who this page is for. This page, this group is for singles, dating, courting, married, or divorced people. That's what this page is for. If you fall into any of those categories, this is the place for you. Not just on Fridays, but every day. Like, I post all the time. And again, I like to shout out my brothers, because my brothers are very vocal on this page, even if that vocalness is through inbox. Because you guys inbox me a lot. You send me a lot of things inbox, and I take it and I put it on the page and I share it. The brothers are really coming through in this group on this page. They do a lot on the back. Because sometimes, even the ladies, and thank you ladies, sometimes people don't like putting things out there because, for one, they're concerned that somebody may think it's them. They may be embarrassed about a situation, or they may not want to be the person to ask the question. And that's cool. That's fine. I have no problem posting what you all send. I have no problem sharing. And I have no problem if you have a question and you want some insight. I have no problem putting it up there so somebody can pop on and be like, hey, you know, I got an answer to this, or I have a suggestion to this, or whatever. Hello, miss. I am who I am. What's up, girl? So we're going to get started. So, y'all please chime in, you know, type your questions, your comments, anything you want to say. Go ahead and add on to the page. And y'all going to see me popping back and forth because I don't get to see all the comments all the time. And sometimes I don't see them until this is over, and I hate that. So I try to keep it on some point where I can see if there are any comments coming in. So I'm going to type to make sure. All right. I saw that one. Yep. I saw that one. All right. So we're going to get started. Our topic tonight is, simply put, self-love. Our topic tonight is, simply put, entitled self-love. Self-love. So I went on Google and I clicked on a few things. I Googled self-love. And I got an image or two, and I got some comments. Okay. So self-love. What is self-love? Self-love is about loving who you are. All of you. Flaws, mistakes, and all. Self-love is not about arrogance or entitlement. It is about unconditional compassion. Unconditional compassion. I like that one. The other one, self-love, an appreciation of one's own worth or virtue. This is the noun, self-love. An appreciation of one's own worth or virtue. And the second says proper regard for the attention to one's own happiness or well-being. Proper regard for the attention to one's own happiness or well-being. Self-love. So, if you all have been paying attention, and I appreciate that you all have, on Tuesday this week, March the 8th, it was my 50th birthday. I turned 50 Tuesday, March the 8th. Hey, Chris. Hey, babe. I want to tell you sorry for your loss. Love you, sir. Love you, sir. Tuesday, March the 8th was my birthday, and I turned 50. And in my process of turning 50, y'all, because anyone who knows me, anyone who has been in my life to some aspect or another, knows that I like to post. I like to post pictures. I like to share. I like to post what's going on with me in life. I like to share. I always feel like sharing good news. Like, if you know something good, if you know there's a sale on something, You want to, and you have a friend, particularly, I love sneakers. I'm a sneaker fan. I love J's. And you have a friend that loves sneakers or whatever, and you find a sale, you come across a sale, you're going to share that news. You're going to be like, ooh, girl, guess what I found? Or, ooh, bruh, guess what I found? And these were on sale. So, it's sharing. Sharing's caring. It's sharing. So I share quite a bit. I don't know where the page went. I share quite a bit on Facebook. So for the last maybe 2 months or so, I prepared for my 50th birthday celebration. I had 2 celebrations, y'all. And y'all see my shirt. And that's another thing. If y'all know me, y'all know I'm an Ariel fan. I love The Little Mermaid. I had 2 celebrations. The first celebration I had was for everybody. It was with everybody. I had a silent party. And for those who have never been to a silent party, we had a blast. It's where you have 2 to 3 to 4 DJs, and you're wearing headphones, and you get to listen to whatever you want. Whichever DJ you rocking with, you can rock with that one. And then you can flip and listen to the next DJ. And, we would go through it and be like, ooh, switch to this channel, switch to this DJ, switch to it. It was real fun. It was a silent party. Went to one and I was like, ooh, I want to do this. This should be fun. So on Saturday night, I had a silent party. And that invite, like I said, that was open to all my friends and family, those who wanted to come and join. I had quite a few people that wanted to come and they couldn't make it, but I appreciate your thoughts. And your well wishes for my birthday. I thank y'all for that. And then on Sunday, I had part 2 of my celebration, and that was at the Georgia Aquarium. It was gorgeous, y'all. It was at the Georgia Aquarium. And that was for 40 of my special guests, which were my family members. My parents, my siblings, my close friends, my nieces, my nephews. That's what we did on Sunday. That's what we did on Sunday. So, building up to what I'm saying, I made a decision, and I said a long time ago, my 50th birthday is going to be a blast. We're going to have a good time. I really, really want to celebrate and have a really good time. And God blessed, and I definitely did. So on my 50th, I said, I want to spend that with the people I love. I want to enjoy and have a good time, but I'm going to celebrate me, because 50 is one of those milestones that we look for and we wait for. So I had that celebration. So for a few months, I prepared and I let everybody know. My son, does voiceovers. He does, he's an actor. He's trying to do some writing and producing and directing. The brother is all in there. He's all over the place. He's over in London. He went over to London to go to school. And he's about to complete his studies with the, Lambda, I believe, Performing Arts School, University in London. So he did a whole commercial for me. It was like a movie premiere, right? He did that, and that was the invitation. So I put that out and invited everyone that I cared about, everyone close, everyone that has had something to do, some influence and some effect on my life in some type of way. I sent that out. Celebrating me. Getting to the point, y'all. Celebrating me. I thought it was really important. To make this a big celebration, a grand celebration, a great celebration. And it had 2 purposes. It served 2 purposes for me. I invited, like I said, my family members. And it was like, hey T, it was like a family reunion, y'all. My oldest brother was like, this is a family reunion you create. And I was like, hey, I'm here for it. Because I love family. I love togetherness. I love doing all of that. So my nieces came, my nephews who hadn't seen each other since they were children. It was beautiful. I was happy. I'm so shocked and surprised that I didn't cry most of the weekend. because I thought that's what was going to happen. But I sat back and I watched everybody come together. And I felt proud, y'all. I really did. I felt proud. I felt proud because, not because, okay, I got this thing together and everybody's here, but because we were able to come together. And truth be told, it was all for me. It was all for me. Like, they got a chance to love on each other, but it was all for me. And I really, really appreciate it. So self-love, you all, tends to be hard for some people. It tends to be hard for some people. It tends to be hard for some people because society sometimes tells us that we're not good enough. And not only does society tell us sometimes that we're not good enough, but there are times when people in our lives tell us we're not good enough. People that we're close to, people that we love, people that we trust and we depend on, tell us we're not good enough in so many aspects and so many words. I used to always tell my ex-husband that the way he treats the girls, the way he treats his daughters, should set them up in this world where no man can tell them anything. No man can tell them anything. Nothing that they can say, okay, well, to try to impress them or move them in that aspect. So, no man should be able to tell them anything because their father has already positioned them to know how beautiful they are, how special they are, how smart they are, how there's nothing if they set their mind to that they cannot do. When a father does that for his daughter, it sets her up to grow and live in this life and be successful and productive. And even more so, because what comes first before success and productivity in life tends to come that attraction from the opposite sex, or that attraction, whether it's going one way or it's coming the other way, right? That first thing comes. And women tend to get caught up, as society puts it, women tend to get caught up a little bit harder, it seems, dealing and struggling with self-esteem levels. Now, I know men and guys deal with it as well, but it's not as profound. If y'all can understand what I'm saying, it's not as profound because the girls are worried about, how they look. Are they developing like the other girls? Especially if there's someone else developing faster and quicker than them and they're getting the attention from the boys or whatever, then she feels like, okay, I'm not cute and I'm not pretty or whatever. So brothers, big up your daughters. Big up your baby girls. And make them feel like they are the best thing on this earth. Now, I used to tell my ex-husband, like, you gonna make charisma no good for this world. But in a sense, that's what I wanted him to do. And that's what I needed him to do. Hey, Cassandra, hey, babe. I needed him to give her the confidence boost that she needed from a male counterpart. A person that she trusts and she admires and she looks up to and that she loves, that builds that self-confidence, that builds that confidence in her. And, it's important for the boys too. It's important that the guys do it, that they get it as well. Because again, men, guys, boys tend to behind the scene, and theirs comes out more, it tends to come out more when they're being competitive, competing against one another. But self-love. So if we start them off young by telling them how special they are and how great they are, 9 times out of 10, and I know peers mean a lot. Peer impressions and impressing your peers means a lot. Hey, Bambi, how are you, babe? It means a lot to them. But if we set that foundation at home, if we set that foundation for them for them to understand, regardless of what my friends are doing and what they're saying, I am this and I am that and I am special and I need to do well in school and I need to make sure I keep myself until I'm ready to give up my virginity, male or female. We need to prepare them and do that. And when we do that, it prepares them better for the world. That's just what it is. If you have a teacher that says to you, you know what, you're great, and and you're smart, and 9 times out of 10, you know how they go. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna do well because it's like, oh, my teacher told me I was this and I was that. And the more compliments and the more praise we get, the more we want to live up to those things. Now, I know there's situations and places where there's not always mom and dad. There's not always dad to do that. So it's not like the ladies can't do it. It's not like the ladies can't do it as well. But when it comes to growing and self-esteem and understanding and knowing who you are, very, very crucial and important that we start that at the lower levels. So let's talk about the level of life where we're in adulthood and we didn't get that when we were younger. Say we didn't get that when we were younger. I honestly, guys, cannot remember my father. My parents got divorced when I was really young. But we did spend time with my dads in the summers. We were either with him in Brooklyn in the summers, or we were over in the islands, or we were with my mom and my bonus dad. He was in the military, so I'm a military brat. We were either with one or the other. At some point in life, we were in between. Honestly, y'all, I can't honestly remember my dad saying to me that I was beautiful and I was gorgeous and I was cute and I was smart and I'm not knocking that because, you live what you learn. And if you don't come from a household of a lot of affection, you don't tend to give a lot of affection. But what they did do, and I think as men may, I was an athlete. I played ball. I was good at it. So those were the things in the areas where they told me I was good at. And that, that was a good game and great job and stuff like that, right? Those were the areas where those things were told to me. And that's where that boost was given. But there were other areas that I needed and I wanted. And, I really didn't realize that and know that until I got a certain age. Because being a tomboy, I was worried about making that 3-pointer. I was worried about, winning that 100-yard dash or spiking that ball over the volleyball net. Or, that's what I was concerned with. But there are others who were more concerned with how they looked and how they were made to feel and things like that. But self-love is something that tends to grow. It tends to grow. If it's not taught and if it's not instilled and given, it has to be something that grows. It has to be something that you learn to get for yourself. Self-love. Now let's talk on the area, hey Jay, on the area of being in a relationship, because we're at real life relationship growth, right? So have you ever been in a relationship where you didn't feel your best? They did not make you feel like you were number one. They didn't make you feel like you were a priority. You were belittled, you were abused, you were talked down to, you were used. I'm going to say at some point, each and every one of us as adults have had some type of what I call relationship trauma, right? All right, sis, you late, but you made it. Y'all be getting on my sister. All of us at some point have had maybe some type of relationship trauma. Maybe. We all have had some relationship trauma. And in the process of relationship trauma, for those of us who've had relationship trauma, we tend to question ourselves. We tend to question our self-worth. Now listen, I don't care how confident you are, how fine you are, how pretty you are, how smart you are, how many degrees you have, how many degrees you don't have. I don't care about any of that. When somebody peeks and ticks at your self-esteem, when somebody ticks at who you are and who you feel you are, and they chip away at it, it does something. It has an effect. Now, honestly, y'all, at this point in time in my life, I am 50. I just turned 50. And I hear constantly all the time, you don't look 50. You don't look 50. You can't be 50. You can't be turning 50. And I appreciate that. I'm not bragging or boasting. I appreciate that. Black don't crack. We come from good stuff. But there have definitely been times in my life. There have definitely been times in my life where I felt less than fine. I felt less than cute. I felt less than smart. I felt less than, I questioned, dang, do I really this? And am I really that? Am I really this? And sometimes it's easy to do that and get into that rut and get into that thought of things when the person that you're caring about the most pretty much wants to let you know, you're really not nothing. You really not much of this and you really not much of that. Hey, Finley, that's my friend, y'all. And it can wear you down. It can work on your self-esteem. It can work on how you feel and how you think about yourself. It really, really can. So here's my plug I do every week, y'all, because I'm going to do it every week. If you feel like you are less than, if you have been abused, misused, mistreated, belittled in any form of fashion, whether it's sexual, mental, verbal, emotional, hey, Rob, emotional, hey, let me say that right. Hey, Pat. If you have been dealt one of those hands, counseling is the best thing I have ever done for myself. Counseling is the best experience I have had in life to help me get to a point where I gives a damn about what he said. I care less about what she thinks. I care less about what he did. I care less about what he think he might do. Like, I've gotten over all of that. Hey, Arnett. I've gotten to a point, and I'm not saying that nothing bothers me. I had a conversation with my cousin the other night, and he was like, he asked me, do I find myself sometimes putting on a front? And I sat and I thought about that thing for a second. I didn't think about it because I wasn't sure, y'all. I thought about it because I instantly wanted to be like, nope. And honestly, my answer is no. I don't put on the front. And I was like, why you ask that question? And he was like, I have never seen you. I've seen you go through breakups. I've seen you go through abuse. I've seen you go through lack and loss. And I have never seen you sweat, so to speak. You know how that term goes, right? He was like, I've seen you cry once or twice in life and whatever. He was like, but I have never seen you he was like, you are literally the strongest woman I know. And I was like, why, thank you, cousin. No. But I told him my answer. I sat there for a minute and I turned and I was like, for what? Like, why? Why should I break down? Why should I be upset and crying and concerned and worried? Why should I be? Because first and foremost, there's nothing in this life that I can do about things I cannot control. There's nothing in this life I can do about things that other people choose and decide to do, even if it's to me. I have no control over if that man wanted to abuse me. I have no control over if that man thought he was going to take my money. I have no control over if that friendship, relationship, or whatever person wanted to walk away or walked away from me because they were angry and upset and hurt about something. I have no control over that. So why am I going to sit and be sad and sorry and crying? And I told him, I said, don't get me wrong. I have my moments when I get in the shower and I'm crying and I'm praying out to God. And I'm like, okay, because I truly believe that me and God, we talk just like this. I truly believe I can ask him questions. Like, okay, bruh, why? Like, what happened? Like, I truly believe that. I talk to him just like that. And he responds. And he answers me. Because he'll show me some stuff. And I appreciate that. But I had to tell him, like, why am I going to be upset and sad and worried? And he was like, no, not that I'm saying you should be like that all the time or whatever. But I'm like, I can't. I can't put on a front, because if I put on a front, then that would be God being less than to me, for me. Like, I know he's going to handle this. I know he's going to help me get through this and that. So what am I getting all sad and sobbing thing for? Because that brother left. Like, that just says one or two things to me. One thing it's saying is, damn, you messed up. You shouldn't even been messing with that brother in the first place. Two, it says he wasn't meant for you. He wasn't for you. He wasn't your forever. And the mistake you made by allowing him to come in, or the mistake he made by allowing you to come in, because I'm not perfect, that's just what it is. And again, of course, you're sad and you miss people, and sometimes, because I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I don't miss this last one. I really don't. I ain't trying to be funny. I'm being real, because this is real life relationship growth. I don't miss somebody trying to take what's not theirs and not get that. I just don't. Claudette said, 1,000 people can tell us how well, 1,000 people can tell us how well we are doing. Let one person say something off cuff and it seems to effectively floor us. That is a good point. You are so right. Like, everybody can be praising us and bigging us up, and one person will say something. But it's usually that one person that you hold right here. That one person that you hold right here. She said, we all put on a front in some form for the world. In some form, I agree. We do, in some form. But to the degree from what he was asking me, I couldn't adhere to that. I couldn't comprehend it. I couldn't accept it. I couldn't receive it, because, like, I know that we all have different beliefs in this group, and that's no problem. I believe we should love and respect one another, even our differences, right? But where I am in my life, what God has done for me and where he has brought me to, and what he has protected me from that I now know, and what he has protected me from that I've seen, I can't be sitting around worried about who doing what. I cannot. In my business, I could have never gotten to the position and place that I am now if I thought and felt like that. Because y'all know how many no's I got? Do y'all know how many failures that came about before Donna's Loving Care got to where it is now? And I have a long way to go. Like, if I allowed that to stop me, I would never be where I am. And that's in my business and my personal. Claudia said, if my husband and I are having a disagreement and people walk up, we both show another side of ourselves because it's not other people's concern. And that's a good point to that front that you put on in front of the world in some form or fashion. Because you're right. Nobody needs to know what you and your husband are disagreeing about. That's none of their business. That's none of their business. But, when we learn our self-worth, there's nothing no one, male or female, can tell us. When we learn our self-worth, when we learn how important we are, when we learn how special we are. Let me tell y'all when I learned how important I was. Honestly, there's so many different situations. But one situation, I was in a relationship I should not have been in. It is what it is. And this brother literally tried to kill me. Like, I was held against my will. I didn't think I was going to get out that house. All I could do was like, Lord, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. What should I do? What should I do? And he literally, y'all, like I'm talking to y'all, the Lord said, just play dumb. Because truth be told, I wanted to fight. Growing up, I was a fighter. I fought in school. I fought on the way home. I fought on the weekends. It didn't matter. I was a fighter. My sister was in high school and I was in junior high. And if needed be, I would go over to the high school to fight for her. That's just, so when the situation happened, I was scared, but my instinct was to look for whatever I could to knock the out of this man. But the Holy Spirit kept saying, no, just wait. Don't. Just wait. Don't. So I'm looking at this bat over here in the corner, and I'm thinking I got a knife in this side drawer because, I didn't carry at that point. And I do carry. That's your business. If you do, if you do. If you don't, you don't. But I didn't carry at that point. So I didn't have my weapon. But I knew I had a knife in the side drawer, right? And I'm thinking, okay, if I can get away for a second, I can just get this knife. And then the Holy Spirit was like, no. And I'm thinking to myself, fight or flight? Like, I was in fight mode. Holy Spirit was like, no. I promise y'all, I could have looked around and be like, all right, I hear you. That's how vividly I heard the voice of God saying no. He was like, just wait. Meanwhile, this brother done choking me almost to the inch of my life. And automatically, y'all know your response would be to fight back. Holy Spirit was like, no. Y'all, I listened to the voice of the Spirit because I was like, God, and nobody but you can get me out of this situation. So I listened. I didn't fight back. I just kind of laid into it. Like, he's choking me, and I literally felt like my breath just leaving. And all I could think about, I didn't think that was going to happen. All I could think about was Rajan and Charisma. All I could think about was my kids. And I was like, I can't leave this earth and leave Rajan and Charisma. That's all I could think about. Holy Spirit was like, just wait. And I really wanted to say, Lord, like, what you waiting on? Like, take this nigga out, brother, out. And he let me go. And I just kind of fell to the ground. And I took a deep breath. And I realized, all right, I'm still breathing. I'm good. I'm still breathing. And the Lord was like, stand up. So I stood up. And he stood back and he looked at me. He was like, see what you made me do? Like, you be pissing me off. And I'm thinking to myself, whoo, the bat is right there. Holy Spirit's like, no. So he moves back enough and I start walking toward the door. And as soon as I felt like I got far enough, I tried to take off because we were in the back room and I tried to take off. I had to go through the living room and either through the front door or to the right to the garage. So the garage door was open. And I'm like, all right, that's my route. Soon as I got close enough, y'all, this man grabbed my ankle. And I fell and he pulled me back. I'm talking about how I knew I was special. Like the point that I knew I was special. And he pulled me back and I fell on my shoulder and he like dragged me back to the bedroom. And I'm like, Lord, you said no. You said don't. And I'm listening. I'm not, I'm trying to be patient. I'm listening. And I fell on my shoulder. So the Lord was like, it was almost like he was like, and action. Yeah, it's funny now. It was like action. So I was like, oh, my shoulder. And he was like, what's wrong with your shoulder? I said, I think you dislocated my shoulder. Now, I knew he didn't dislocate my shoulder. But God said action. So he was like, oh, I'm going to have to pop it back into place. And I was like, no. He was like, you're going to have to let me pop it back into place because I don't want to go to jail. And I'm saying to myself, oh, nigga, you going to jail. We just going to get through this scene. So he was like, I got to pop it back into place. And he said, stand up against the wall. Now we back in the bedroom. And he was like, stand up against the wall. And I was like, I can't stand up, and I'm slouching over, and I'm trying to play this thing out. It was hurting, but it wasn't like to the death, like that bad. So, but I'm acting this thing out because the Lord said action. So I'm acting this thing out, and he was like, stand up, I'm gonna pop it back into place. So y'all, I stood up, and he took my shoulder and did this thing, and he pushed it, and I was like, oh, and I was like, it's back. And he was like, all right. He was like, you're going to be all right. And, I started crying and I was like, it's hurting. This man took me to the bathroom and pulled out ibuprofen and took about 10 ibuprofen pills and forced me to take like 10 ibuprofen. Now, any of y'all that was in the military know that all you get is ibuprofen. Like, they give you 800 milligrams like candy. If you was in the military, you had a whole bottle of 800 milligram ibuprofen in your cabinet or whatever, right? So he was like, take like 8, and it was over the counter. So if you count it up, it was like, what I say, it was like 10 of them. So the milligrams is what I took. And he took an ace bandage and he wrapped it up. I'm talking about, y'all, how I know I'm special. So he took it up, he wrapped it up, he wrapped it around. Now, mind you, I had to go back to the daycare because I had to pick up my after schoolers. At that point, I was doing my own transportation, picking up my after schoolers. So the Lord was like, tell him you have to go. You got to go pick the kids up and you'll be back. Literally just like that. And I said, I have to go. I got to pick the kids up. And then I'll come back. And he said, okay. He said, go ahead, pick the kids up and then come back so we can talk. He was like, pick the kids up and come back so we can talk. So I'm walking out the house, got this ace bandage wrapped around me and took like 10 ibuprofen. Didn't have a choice. Hey, took like 10 ibuprofen. And I walked out of the house and I get in my truck and the only thing I could think of was to call my daddy. That was the first thing I could think of. And I called him and I told him what happened. Meanwhile, I'm driving. He said, go to the emergency room. I'm going to meet you there. He said, go to the emergency room. Yep, sis. He said, I'm going to meet you there. So I got to the hospital, and when I tell y'all, I had to speak maybe 2 or 3 times through the whole process after that. They called the police because it was domestic violence. The police came, they took my report. They told me what to do, to file a protective order, to make sure he don't come back to the house. I did all of that. The women's advocacy group, ladies, even gentlemen, there is help for you if you find yourself in an abusive situation. There is help. They will take care of you, your children. They will make sure you're in a safe place. All of those things. You just have to initiate, go to them, and accept it. Okay? But there is help. So the women's advocacy group, they assigned me an attorney. They did all of this stuff. This process, y'all, lasted because they couldn't find him at first. He ended up coming back to the house because he went and filed an order against me to get me put out the house, not knowing that I already had one against him. So long story short, went to court, through the whole process, everything. I spoke maybe twice. Let me tell y'all why I know I'm special. Twice maybe I spoke. When I say spoke twice, got to court, they asked me my name. The judge was like, state your name, whatever, told him my name. That was all I said. The attorney that was appointed, the women's advocacy, they were all there. I had my family with me. I had the team that I didn't even hire that was with me. And they took care of everything. They asked him one question. They asked him, did he put his hands on me? He went into this whole long story of what this and what that and what that. And the judge sat there, and then the judge was like, did you put your hands on her? And he was like, well, I had to get her off of me. And the judge was like, lock him up. And that was it. That was it. When I tell y'all I'm special, because there were situations, there were situations where I was protected and I was taken care of. And my worth for me was shown when I was protected and taken care of. And when I came out of a situation that should have taken me out of all the stuff that went on in my childhood, out of all the things that made me feel like I was less than, out of all the guys that may have said to me, you're not cute enough, you're not this, you're not that, you're a tomboy, which I was. But all the things that made my self-worth seem so low to me, that day, that particular day, I knew everything that was said to me, everything that was done to me had nothing to do with who I was. Now, of course, like I said, I'm an advocate for counseling. So, of course, it took some counseling. It took some stuff to get myself where I needed to be. And I'm still working on myself. God is still working on me. Again, I don't care who you believe in. That's not what I'm here for. Wherever your strength comes from, then you hone into that. My strength comes from the Heavenly Father. That's just it. That's just where I am. So he gave me tools to realize how much I needed to love myself. He helped me to see how special I was. He helped me to see that there's nothing I cannot accomplish or gain if I don't put my trust in myself, that I can do it and I can get it done because I know who strengthens me. Point blank, period. If you are in a situation where you are questioning who you are questioning your worth, you are questioning who you are, please, 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 first of all, surround yourself with people who are going to big up you. Surround yourself with people who are going to motivate you. Successful people don't hang around bums. I'm sorry. They don't. Successful people don't hang around bums. Successful people hang around people who talk like them, who move like them, who move better than them. That's who successful people hang around. I'm not just talking about business success. I'm talking about life success. We are all going to go through crap. We are all going to go through situations that are meant to break us, tear us down, make us feel less than. We are all going to go through that. There's nothing special about you in that instance. There's nothing special about me in that instance. We are not exempt from life's foolishness. But how we deal with it, how we come out of it, how we treat the next man because of it, what we give to our younger brothers and our younger sisters and to our children, that's what counts. That's what counts. Never feel like you are not important enough to tell somebody something. I've gotten a few people, not a lot, and it's cool. I don't mind. And I'm not saying this to throw a pun at anyone or to insult anyone. I've gotten a few comments from certain people pretty much saying that my opinions are mine and I should kind of keep them to myself. Let me tell you what that does for me. Nothing. I don't care, because someone gave me a good word. Someone said to me, hey, do you know how your business can be more successful? Someone said, hey, do you know how you can get some money for your business? Hey, do you know how you can do this or you can do that? If someone didn't help me get to where I am, I may not be here. It may have taken me a little bit longer. If I don't give if I don't give back what's been given to me, then honestly, I feel like a lot of it is in vain. We don't live on this earth by ourselves. And we don't always agree with each other. That is fine. I have a friend on here. I call him Smiles. He knows who he is. Christopher, what's up, Smiles? I call him Smiles. And it seems like Smiles and I are like oil and water. It seems like we don't mix. And he'll make comments and he'll say some stuff. Hey, Sabrina. He'll make comments and he'll say stuff. And some of y'all have seen him on here. And we seem like we have this back and forth banter with each other. But I respect the brother. Because why? Let me tell you why. Just because I don't agree with everything Smiles says, I respect the brother. Because when I was moving, I put out there, I needed some friends to come help. I needed some male friends to come help me move. This brother came from Columbus, Georgia with his son and helped me move. That, for me, covered every disagreement we could possibly have. Because he has his opinion and I have mine, but we still respect one another. If I need to know something about my car, like I wanted to buy a new radio system or whatever for the Z, I call Smiles. Because this brother rebuilds cars and builds things. You know, he'll post, he built a whole new bathroom. And I'm like, yo, Smiles, that's my dude. So he has something that is worthy of me having this friendship and this relationship I have with him. Because that's my dude. But we don't always agree. It is so fine to not always agree. But we have to respect one another, and we have to realize that you're getting nowhere in this life without each other. If that was the case, if we could, then I think God would have stopped at Adam, because he didn't need nobody else. Creation would have stopped right there. Oh, Adam, you good. You don't need nobody. You don't need that woman. Nope. Just name these animals, play with the tiger over there, and you all right. But that's not how life works. That's not how it goes. We are there for one another. I love my daycare parents. And there are years of them. And I promise you, I could call, there may be 2 from the time I started this that I've had some bad blood with or some bad whatever, because, you know, sometimes money come in play and people lose their mind. And then sometimes you do stuff for people and they still lose their mind. But there's nothing that a parent can't say to me that I can't learn from. Just because I'm keeping their children and I'm educating their children and whatever, there's nothing they can't say that I might not be like, oh, because Miss Sabrina on here right now. I see you, girl. It's nothing Sabrina can't say to me that I feel like I'm too whatever, that she can't tell me nothing about daycare business, because she has experience in childcare as well. So, listen, self-love can definitely also mean I love myself enough not to make a fool out of myself and act like I know everything and treat people less than. Because it starts here. How you treat other people, 9 times out of 10, and here I go with the 9 times out of 10. How you treat people, 9 times out of 10, is how you feel about yourself. Just let that marinate for a minute. Hurt people hurt people. I learned that. Hurt people hurt people. The person on the top is not always the one who's right. They're not always the one who has it together. Especially when you ever been on a job where somebody had a little credential. They were, supervisor or whatever. Oh, they lose power? Okay. They had a little credential. They're supervisor or whatever. And they felt like they could talk to you any old kind of way and come at you any old kind of way just because they was the supervisor. They probably weren't used to ever having nothing. So now that they have something, they feel like, oh, I'm putting my chest up a little bit. I can do this and I can do that. But, just as quickly as you came up, you can quickly come down. I think about that all the time. All of this can be taken away. It can. It can be taken away. I'm not concerned about people taking it away, because what God has for me is for me. So I'm not concerned about people taking it away. But if God decides, if he chooses for whatever reason to take from me what he has blessed and allowed me to have, where I am right now, I'm like, bruh, so what you doing next? Like, you took that because you gotta be making room for something else. That's just how I feel. Because I love myself so much that I think it's impossible for him not to do his best for me. Like, what? What? My sister said, I'm so proud of you, sis, because you learned to fight with your mind, education, patience, and spirit. Woo, my sister, no, I did. I learned to fight in other ways. And it was productive fighting. And Sabrina said, Miss Combs, Shavondalyn, I have seen it happen. He will do it faster than you can blink. Yep. He will take you down as quick as you think he allowed you to go up. He will. So when we walking around and we're not helping each other, we're not supporting each other, you're really pretty much showing what you feel and think about yourself. It is in our nature. It is in our nature. I don't care what you say. It is in our nature to help one another. Why? Because God created more than one you. He created more than one person. So, again, if you're in that relationship, let's do this. If you have come out, male or female, because it ain't just women that deal with abuse and stuff like that. If you come out of a relationship that made you feel less than in whatever way, I want to applaud you. I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you for realizing how special you are, how much better, more you deserve, how great you are. I'm so proud of us. I'm so proud of us. Because you are well more, you deserve well more than what you've gotten or what you're getting. So let's also be real. Sometimes we bring foolishness onto ourselves. Let's not always, we can't blame everything on the devil. We bring foolishness onto ourselves at times. But I told one of my little ones today, because she likes to antagonize everybody. She thinks it's cute and talk about everybody and laugh at, especially the new students that come in. Like she trying to set up her foundation and let them know she boss. I told her today, because she seems to never cry. She seems to never be concerned about whose feelings she hurt. But as her father and I were talking to her this morning, she started crying. And I told her, I said, the good thing about when you mess up, you can always choose to fix it. You can always choose to turn around and go the other direction and change what you're doing. You have that opportunity. You can always fix it. So make a decision and make a choice to do better. So when we bring things onto ourselves, when we jump into that relationship we had no business being in, when we go into that place we had no business being, when we deal with people we have no business dealing with, and the repercussions come after it, we still have an opportunity to turn that thing around and go the right direction. So if you are in a relationship and you feel like you have been beat down and battered and you can't take no more, and you feel like you can get no better than who you dealing with and who you have, please look at yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror. And do not worry about what mama may have said, what daddy may have said, what someone may have done. Remember that you are created in the likeness of the Most High. Like, he gave us what he had. How can you not be great knowing that? Don't let man, who is struggling the same struggles you are struggling, do not allow man or woman to bring you down to a point where you question that. We've been there. We've done that. Let's do something new. Let's do something new. So, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you, everyone who sent me well wishes for my 50th. I had a ball last weekend. I loved on some people. Some people loved on me. And I enjoyed myself. I appreciate the post. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate the flowers and the gifts. I had a friend drive today, y'all. He drove an hour just to bring me my gift because he missed my party. And I appreciate stuff like that. I really do. I really do. And y'all know I'm a mermaid fanatic, so this brother did it up. I got the bag, the makeup bag. What else? Some socks. I just kept pulling stuff out the bag. I so appreciate it. I love you and I thank you for that. I thank you for thinking enough of me, to feeling like driving was enough just to bring my gifts. Thank you. All right, y'all. I love you. Love on yourself. Know who you are. Know your worth. Get some counseling. Again, like I always say, you don't have to worry and you don't have to wait for something to go wrong in order for you to get counseling. Counseling is one of those things that you do to keep yourself above board. And y'all, if y'all are commenting, I'm so sorry. I'm not seeing them. I see people popping up, but I'm not seeing the comments. So I promise I will go back and look at this after. It says 29 comments. Oh my gosh, I'm not seeing any of them. I see a few. Why am I not seeing the comments? I haven't gotten this thing right. Okay. So I apologize, but I'll go back and look. And you can continue, like I said, you can continue to comment, like, love, all of those things, because the video is going to be posted at the top of the page. Every Friday I do that, so you can go back and look at it and watch and see what you missed, or maybe take the time to comment somewhere that you didn't have a chance to. All right? So, counseling. Get some. Make that a part of your life. Told another friend yesterday, he's getting married. And I asked, are y'all doing premarital counseling? And he was like, well, yeah, we talked about doing it, but we want to fix things first. And then what we can't fix, we'll go to counseling for. I said, bruh, why are you wasting y'all time like that? There are things that you can't fix. We already know that. Marriage is not easy. So why make it harder? Knock that middleman out. Go ahead and go to counseling. And y'all could deal with that stuff now before you carry it in. Because there are things that we aren't equipped to deal with. But that don't mean we don't want to love on somebody. So we learn how to do that. Go to counseling. Get that counseling. Again, corporations have people that advise them. It's called counseling. They advise them on how to move forward and make those millions and millions of dollars and do better. So why not do that? And he was saying, well, it's expensive and we're going to go once a month. Listen, we waste money on less. We waste money on less. By the time you tally up how much you've eaten out for the month, you could have had 2 sessions, 3 sessions of counseling. It's an investment. Look at counseling as an investment into your future, an investment into your life, an investment to making things better for you. All right? All right. Love y'all. Looks like I'm over my time. I'm get my earbud. Nobody's telling me to go off. I'm just playing. But I am over longer than I wanted to go. I try to keep y'all. I keep saying 30 minutes, but y'all be playing. We get on here and I'll be like, da 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 da. But it's good. I love it. I enjoy it. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great weekend. It's supposed to be cold in Georgia tomorrow. Daughter went and bought some groceries, so sister gonna be snuggled up. Find me some movies to watch. And enjoy my weekend. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Keep sending your topics. And I will see y'all next Friday. All right, here we go. Let me do this right. IG going first. Good night, IG. They want me to do so much. All right, I have to put a title on that one. All right, Facebook. Love y'all. See y'all next week.